So the birds that you'll see going by are not bats. The bats are actually pretty easy to identify. They look like bats. They're not very large. They grow to be, in imperial terms, about 4 or 5 inches long, no more than about 15 centimeter, that sort of thing. So very small bats, and they're brown in color. So they have your typical bat kind of look to them, and there's more of a colony group. I couldn't think of a word right now in English. More of a colony. Okay, so actually, I'm going to stop here for a second because this is a massive yard that's got a bunch of fruit trees. And as the sun goes down, of course, you'll see at various times, you'll start to see the bats come out, and they're looking for exactly this. They're looking for the fruit trees. And now this is my neighborhood, so I know this area pretty well. And that's why, for sure, I know it's going to be easy to find them. The question is, am I out too early? And that's entirely possible. The bats don't typically come out when the sun is out, and as you can see, the sun hasn't gone down yet. So the trade-off is you can actually see the video. Now, in the not so wildlife out here, you got a lot of stray cats. Stray cats are very common. I'm also looking for brown rats. Now, brown rats are very common in this area, and they live in these open sewers. So you have open highway for them. And these are not the type of sewers where there's like human waste or anything like that. It's runoff, it's effluent, so it's the rainwater type of sewers. And the rats live down here, and they kind of congregate in the covered areas as you come across that. So you have brown rats, you have the short-nosed fruit bats, and again, like I said, I'm kind of looking up in this area to see if I can see them. Hello. And so far nothing. So I'm going to take you a little bit closer so you can see some of the fruit that I'm talking about. You got mango tree, you have this tree directly in front of me. It's actually a fruit tree. It's very popular with the bats. They come here a lot, and you can actually see, maybe not so well on here, but there's a lot of guano, there's a lot of bat droppings in the area, so they do congregate. And then of course you have, with all the different palmetto and palm type of plants, you have fruits that are growing back here as well. You can see a whole clutch of bananas, and yeah, as far as I know, they go for the sweet, fragrant type of fruits. They don't go out of their way to attack people, so I'm not concerned about them. Actually, anytime I'm walking around and they walk by me or they fly by me, they always avoid coming in contact with me. So now, bats are rabies carriers, not in huge numbers with the fruit bats. So the fruit bats, I think, is somewhere in the low order of 20% of them, and they are somewhat immune to them. So they don't catch the rabies, they just carry it. They become rabies carriers. I'm going to go ahead and take on too long for you, but yeah, I can actually see one. There's actually a bat flying up in the sky right now, so I have a pretty good feeling if I make it across to these other streets to the hot spot, then you'll start to see them. And there's street lights over there, so if it gets darker, you'll still be able to see as I take you along. And oh, we got a shuttle bus. I gotta wait here for a second. Some motorcycles pass by. Hello. So what other animals can I find? So nature wear is always going to be about the ecosystems and the biome that's created in the urban area that we live in, or suburban area, or rural area, or whatever, we humans share our lands and our lives with animals, from big, small, whatever. Here in East Jakarta, it's also going to be very common to have these crossovers between domestic animals like the stray cats, which are not feral. So that is to say that they have some interaction and their lives are dependent on people to a certain degree, because they get fed or they take scraps. And also a lot of chickens around here, and they're free ranging, running around. I mean, they're pets, but kind of on their own. So okay, as I come around, there's about 2 more streets I gotta pass, and the next street over is really, I see hundreds of bats there very frequently. I'm not worried about seeing bats in that area. I would love to be answering questions right now, but I'm not actually looking at my phone. One of the things that I have to be careful of, because everybody's coming home right now, is there is actually traffic, as you can tell, going around me and when I gotta cross the street or whatever. So here's one of my stray cats right here. And these are not pets. They don't go into houses. They live in the neighborhood. They survive off of whatever's given to them, or whatever they can find in the trash. And as you can see, there's these open bins. These are actually the trash receptacles. There are actually people that come around and empty the trash. Okay, I've got a couple of bats. This is looking good. Now, they're all still kind of high in the air. I think right now they're kind of sourcing out to decide where they're going to go hunting. If you can think of it in terms of hunting, they're hunting for fruit. They're looking for different fruits. And the reason this street gets a lot of action is because there are a lot of fruit trees right on the edge of the street side, and then on the patio. So, you get a lot of bats. I've got a bat over here, and a couple of birds, a stray cat here. I'm trying to be a little quiet because people are having dinner at home. So where do the bats live? If you look up into the rooftops, underneath the awning of the roof, see, there's a bat flying by up there. And sometimes you'll see that the undercoating is pulled aside, and that's actually where the bats will make their home, underneath the roof area. So next week, just to let everybody know, next week I'll be headed out to the mangrove parks and doing some more filming and observations of the long-tailed macaques, the wild long-tailed macaques that live in North Jakarta, and be able to do an update for this month on them. The bats are still keeping very high up right now. Now, sometimes when they first start becoming active, they will actually rest, and they'll fly into a fir tree with branches that are close together, and they'll take a rest for a while to actually sit on the branches and kind of wake up and get active again. Right now I don't see any coming low. Everything is still flying pretty high. If I fail to see them here, I will actually turn around and head back towards my part of the neighborhood, because I know for sure that near the fruit trees that I showed you earlier, there's definitely action at sundown. It's always fun to walk at sundown because you have the bats flying maybe a meter above your head, just zooming around. That big thing flying by was not a bat. That was a pigeon, actually, and a trained pigeon. That's actually kind of a sport here, is people train pigeons. There we have some more stray cats. Yeah, that's another bird. Yeah, I hate to make everybody wait so long. Normally I see them right off, pardon the pun, but I see them right off the bat. Hello, kucing. Apa kabar? So I still don't see them. Still kind of looking. And I'll go ahead and start heading back to my part of the neighborhood. And during the walk, we probably have better luck. The sun is in the process of going down. So Indonesia's on the equator, and sundown and sunrise pretty much stay constantly around. Oh, there's a brown rat. Brown rat just went by over there. That would have been kind of cool to show you. The rats also are nocturnal. So they start coming out as the sun goes down, and they become very active at night until the early morning, which is a good strategy for them because they scavenge. They're looking for food in the trash bins, and for sure they don't want to run into a lot of people. They're actually pretty scared of people. So if you see a big brown rat, and they are pretty big, it won't charge you or run at you. It normally just runs away, goes down into the sewer area. Okay, I am going to start looking forward again because I'm sorry if this is boring. I was kind of hoping to have a little more bat action going on right now because normally I do see them in large numbers, and it is not raining today. So they do have more of a foraging activity when it's dry. They're not stuck in a rainy situation. I should explain though, the reason that affects their ability to forage is that when it's raining and the humidity is like super, large at nighttime, they can't really track the scent as well. They're not taking in the smells over larger distance, which makes it harder for them to find what they're looking for because they're navigating to their food on the fragrance of the fruit. And of course, this is the same time that the food sellers coming out. So you'll see a lot of people go by selling bread, they're selling foods, food carts out here with the most delicious food you'll ever have. And the neighborhoods are kind of integrated to where you can own your own personal little shop like the one in front of me without a lot of paperwork or licensing. You just kind of open it up. You can open your garage and start selling coffee and Cokes or whatever, snacks, packaged goods, some homemade bakery stuff, whatever. I mean, people do cottage industry here a lot. So each section of the neighborhood is divided. And so as I leave this one, I go back into my section, there's a gate and it's ornamental, kind of shows the division between the other area and this area. Everybody going home now. I'm a chance it and run across real quick. Okay. And then I have to go to the far side of the street because there will be people driving by me. And now again, we're headed to that row of fruit trees, banana trees, mangoes, all the good stuff that we saw before, where the bats normally come to feast in the evening. But I'm actually not going to stay there because I want to catch them in flight. If they're in the trees, you will not see them because it's getting too dark. So to catch them in flight, I have to walk down the streets. Now, there is actually a small bat colony in my neighbor's house. Is currently not rented and nobody's living there. I don't think it really affects anybody. They do damage to the underside of the roof, but for the most part, it's pretty copacetic to come on. So in the morning, there's all these little nuts and berries and bat guano. Man, this is a house cat, not a stray. The black one has a collar, so people actually take care of it. Okay. So this is a bat central area, and if I hang out away from the corner, they typically will fly in this way and then straight down the street. I can show you where that colony area is. So I don't really have anybody coming by right now. And there are some small songbirds flying around. Okay. So the bat colony itself has kind of dug into the neighbor's house. So up here where you see the holes, that's where the bats are going to be coming out of to go flying. And they go either direction. They can go down my street or they can go to the other side of the neighborhood. And at the moment, I don't really see anything coming out, which is kind of sad because they're usually all over the place. Here we've got stray cat and kitten. Say hi to the people, kitty. See, the strays are actually pretty cautious about people because people are not always nice to them. And, you know, they're fun to watch, but as soon as you get close, they'll run away. And that's good because that keeps them safe. That's a bird. Yeah, I still don't see any bats here. Now, I could also show you some brown rats because it should be pretty close to time for the rats to start popping out. But I really want people to see bats tonight.